Yeah, so here I am. It's what day is it? It's Monday today, and I've been for the last maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days. I've been working on getting the motor up and running on this Volkswagen, and yay, I had success. It was a few trials and tribulations to get it going. Like I had problems with getting the fuel. Number one, to get the fuel lines purged. That's an important thing to do. Get them all purged out so that it's getting fuel to all the injectors. Number two, getting all the spark plug wires in the right place. This is number 4 cylinder for those of you guys that are like me that thought number 4 was over there. But there's a big 4 written right there. So, hey, that took a while to figure out. But Googleish helped out on that. And then there was a couple other things like getting the power to the fuel pump and stuff like that. So everything's working now, and it sounds good and it runs well. And I've got a handheld temperature gauge, and I went around and spot checked all the temperatures everywhere, and it seems to be that everything is good. So anyhow, you can stick around and see the whole thing, and please enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Yep. Oh, here I am. It's what day? Saturday. 12th, maybe? 12th of February? February, middle of February, pretty near. Sometime soon, February 11th today, Saturday. Sometime soon it'll be Valentine's Day. So, yeah, who's going to be my Valentine? I guess my Valentine's a Volkswagen van, right? Anyhow, back to work on this thing. And now yesterday I was sort of finished up in here. The things are looking ready to go at this end of the planet. So then it's a matter of I'll lift it up and I'll see if I can get the fuel pump electrified and whatever else it needs down below there to get it going. And then I'll maybe try and oh yeah, so fuel pump electrified. I have to put the grommets on the little things up here. Those 2 buckets need grommets, and maybe I'll hook in the speedometer cable. So then we'll see what happens with it after that. Yeah, there I've got this thing out of here, the bucket, the white bucket. It's all black underneath here from 1,000 years of use. And now I've put a new grommet in the top here, and it seems to be in. There's the old grommet that came out of it right here, and it's all pretty soft and had its better days. So now a matter of getting that part there to slide into this part here. I think I'll just put a bit of this brake lubricant grease on there, and that'll help it through, I hope. Anyhow, but then I've got the I don't know if there's enough light underneath here. Wires hooked up to the, what do you call this? The fuel pump. Wires are on the fuel pump, and they're all happy. Okay. Well, we'll see if they're happy when I hook up electricity, if anything smokes, right? Okay. Yeah, where did I get the light out of it? Oh. Now the light never ever hooks where you want it to do unless it wants to hook by itself, right? There we are. So that's all up there now. There's 2 hoses on there. Let me see. Okay, yeah, these 2 hoses go to the tank. There's a 3rd hose on the top of it that comes from the cross member of the tank. It's all in there. See that yellow tag in there? That's where the vapor comes from. And it's in the tank, and now I just have to go to the other side and do the same thing over there. So I'll do that. Yeah, so here now I'll show you what I've got going on. I've got the new speedometer cable in, and it's through the all the way in. I've still got to push that grommet into place, but it's onto here where I've got it clicked on here, so I'm going to turn that a little bit and see what happens with the speedometer. I can't see this, but you can. I'm turning it just by hand. It seems to, I hear it go bouncy bouncy there, so something's going on. Yay! So I have a working speedometer. Well, how well it works we don't know, but it is a working speedometer. Yeah, there I put a couple of gallons of gas in it, and I don't see anything dripping out of it anywhere, so that's a good sign. Now, next is, what am I going to do next? Is I've rigged up a remote starter switch so I can hook it on here. I don't know, can you see up here? Up in here. I'll hook it on. One terminal will go on that big one, and one terminal will go over here, and then that'll ignite it like as if I hit the key, right? And there's an extra thing over there to put it on, I hope. Anyway, I'll check that out and see what I can do. Yeah, so, I don't know, can you see up there now? Right in there, that wire at the yellow tab goes to the positive, which comes from the battery, and you see that black wire, it sort of meets up that wire there, and it goes to my switch, which is over there, which should make it turn over the motor. I'll find out. Yeah, there's the fire extinguisher, right? And there's the batteries hooked up. And it's getting power somewhere because that says 14.2 there. Interesting, eh? So what I'll do is go to the back here. I don't want to get too excited about it all. But I'll unhook this coil. Where is it? That thing there, so it's not going to spark, and like no sparks are going to go into the system if it turns over. And then if I leave the key off and hit this switch here, it should make it run. Yeah, look, there's power to that switch. I'll be shit. Yeah, and it turns over. Huh. So there's power to that. Then, if I turn on the key, we'll just watch and see if anything goes to hell. Oh, the lights are on. That's one of the things works. Not much else on up here. I thought maybe some of those lights had come on. Who knows, eh? That thing there comes on when you turn the key. Wonder what I have wrong somewhere. Fan works. Yeah, put it in neutral and it'll turn. I'll be shit. I wonder if the fuel pump is pumping. Have to wait for the heater to stop before I can tell if the fuel pump's pumping, but I can loosen this right here, and that will that's the bleeder for the fuel system right there. So I'll loosen that and just see if there's any pressure there. So I'll get back to you on that one. Whoops. Here I am. I'm at where I left off when I got the motor to run before I took it out of here, but I had jumped the wires here to make the fuel pump go. And then I found out that the fuel pump was, I found out that the motor would run, and that's as far as I got. Now I've been going through, and the trouble check is to turn on the ignition. Hey, so I'll go and turn on the ignition. Yeah, ignition's on. Those lights over there are on. No lights on in the dash. I don't know why. I'll figure that out someday. Okay, ignition's on, right? Then you, this is the airflow sensor, which is the same problem I had with the, I'm getting used to these injection systems. Airflow sensor is everything about injection systems. If it doesn't recognize the airflow, then it's not going to run, right? So that's, you have to, like there, I heard the, over there you hear the switch go. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but there's a click over there when I ground these. There, like it clicked on, and that means fuel pump should be running. But I don't think it is. I can't get underneath here with all this stuff in my hand. No fuel pump running. So how come? How come? Okay, I'll just start looking for the problem. Yeah, there, so I've got this connection here bridged, 36 and 39 in there. That I heard click, so it's on. So there should be electricity going to the fuel pump. Now I'm going to just lift it up and put a meter on there and see. I'll let you know. Yeah, so I was underneath there. Yep, I didn't take the camera with me because it gets a bit cramped underneath there at the best of times. So when this thing here is cross-circuited like that, those two there, well, whatever you call that, the airflow sensor, when it opens up, it makes those two come open. That sends signal to here that says, hey, send fuel pump, turn fuel pump on. The positive wire coming from here to the fuel pump has got energy. The ground wire coming from the fuel pump to here has no energy, or has no ground. So I've got to track down where that ground is. Maybe it's in one of these damn things here. Who knows, eh? So I'll track down where that ground went and see if I can make it grounded. Yeah, pretty simple when you get to it. This wire here that I thought was just for lights. Anyhow, that's the ground wire there that comes from the fuel pump, right? And it goes in to this wire here, and it goes into this connector and somehow crosses across there and then goes to a ground there. So that makes that full circuit, and then all of a sudden fuel pump works. Wait a minute, I'll see. Cross these things over. Jeez. Fuel pump's working. You can hear it? Can you hear it whining? Anyway, so that's good news. Now, so the fuel system has been, I've got fuel all over the place here because I opened up the bleeder and it spit out fuel everywhere. So I'm going to let it dry off for a while. So that seems to be good. Now, the next thing is to see if it'll run, I guess, eh? I'll clean off these connections in here, and then I think that's everything. Everything seems to be, I didn't see any leaks anywhere. I'll have to look underneath and see. I don't think there's any leaks in the fuel system anywhere. Doesn't look like any. No No fuel on the ground anyhow. So, that's interesting. So it might run now. It might have everything it needs to run. I'll think about it before I try and crank it over to run. But might be close. Turn off the ignition. I still don't know why there's no lights up here now, because there were before. I guess it's just have to track things down. It's like the ground wires. Yeah. Yeah, I think everything's set to go for to give it a try. I've got the ignition hooked up there. Now, who knows whether it's right or wrong or anything, whether it'll fire or not. Who sees? We'll see. Well, it did a click there, so something happened. See what happens. Yeah, so there. Yeah, it turns over. We'll I've got a couple of marks on here to figure out where things are. And we'll see if it'll fire tomorrow maybe. I'll let it set for the night and then I'll think about it here. I should put that back up on the side there. I will do that. Anyhow, that's good. That's everything's working, so it should go one of these days. Now I can check and see if it's got spark. I just this is the coil wire, right? So if it's sparking, then we should be able to see if it's sparking. Can you see that? Lots of spark there. So then I think it's got fuel. I think it's got everything it needs, just a matter of getting it timed right. So I'll do that. I'll set up some timing soon here. It'll take some thinking about it. Anyway, it's encouraging. I'll just shut you off for a minute or two and see what I can do. Yeah, there, I'll leave it for tonight. It's supper time, so I got a couple more kicks out of it, but nothing more than that. It'll likely run eventually. I might have that distributor. I'm getting the feeling that I have the distributor clocked slightly wrong. I might have to change things around there a bit. And the oil pressure light came on for a few minutes, then went out again. Hasn't showed its head since then. So, well, we'll wait. We'll give it a chance to get running. Yeah, so there's a degree wheel. Oh, upside down, hey? Everything's upside down. I've got it on a piece of cardboard. And the, see, it so happens that this sanding wheel is just the right size for that, the back of the Volkswagen. So that's what I copied to make the cardboard thing, right? And then it so happens that this scale just sort of fits on that cardboard. I'm only lucky on that one. So there's 0 right here, 7.5 degrees before, 7.5 degrees after. So I'll mark them on. And then this bigger one here, I'll make it so I can get it on the mark some degrees on the metal part outside. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe. I'll show you when I get there. Anyhow, I've got degree wheels. Yeah, here I am back again on the Volkswagen. This might be your will it run episode here. Who knows? I've got the battery in it, right? I haven't got that hooked on right now. I had it in yesterday too, and I had it turning over. So now I've got myself a what do you call this? A timing light. I'm getting old school here, timing light stuff. And my meter, my multimeter here, it also has the capacity to do tachometer, RPM, and dwell angle, and all that kind of stuff that goes along with, it even tells you the temperature. It's a pretty good thing, this thing. So I'm going to take my, where I did, no, I can't reach them now because I got them over there. This is top dead center. Now I marked this top dead center when I set the car up on, I measured to get exact top dead center on there. The mark on the pulley is right back where my finger is there. You can't really see it. I'll put some white there so that I can see it later. And then I'll put the, like it's exactly at top dead center now. So I'll put the scale on this part here. Then I'll be able to put a mark on this for, oh, what do you call that? Oh, my poor brain. I'll be able to put a mark on this thing in the back here to shine the light on when the timing light's going. Anyhow, I'll get that set up. I'll show you. Yeah, there it is. Now, when I was putting the motor together, I was careful to mark that and that as top dead center. So that's top dead center. And then, wonder what I did with my little straight edge thing here. Now you can see I've got that wheel on there. Don't know whether it's got all the degrees marked on it. Now, so I lined up the center. Can you see the center down there? Center hole? Line up the center and then just bring this thing up like that. And sure enough, it goes across that line and hits the seam, right? So that's top dead center right there. Then this mark here is lined up with that white mark at the back there. Can you see? Like you can see a white mark at the front and a white mark at the back. So that's lined up at white mark at the back, right? And then this thing here, which is top dead center mark, you bring it up and there you go, right there. That's top dead center. Now I need a mark for 7.5 degrees before top dead center, which is going to be right there. So I'll put a mark on there. Then I can take this all off and I've got this mark here is a timing mark, that white thing, and that should line up when you're timing it, when the motor's running at 850 RPM or something like that. So I'll get that. So I'll put a mark right here for 7.5 degrees. This one here I just guessed before. For 7.5 degrees before top dead center. Then I can static time it up here. And I also bought one of these electronic ignition things, the hot, what's it called? It's called Hot Shot or Hot Spark Performance Product. And so here it is here. It's just it goes on the distributor instead of points and condenser. You put this on. We've got a couple of extra bits there. I don't know what they're for sure, but I'll find out. And then if I install this, then that gets rid of the points and stuff like that, and it should run electronic ignition. Anyhow, I'll get that all set up, and then by the end of the day, I might try to start it. Now, yesterday, like if you remember, yesterday I was running it, and I got the fuel pump to run, and I hadn't purged the lines properly. So I think I've got the lines properly purged. I'm going to double check them today and make sure everything's purged right. And I'll just keep this wheel around for posterity, because it's actually kind of handy. It just sort of fits right on there, right? Anyway, there we go. Yeah, so here I am. I've taken the points out, right? There's the points. Then I've got this electronic ignition kit. Where is it? Oh, there's it comes with multiple parts. Like here's the inducer. It's just a thing with 4 magnets in it, and it goes along, and this sends an impulse to this thing here, and this goes right in beside there, like that, something like that. And then I've checked that the measurement of, like I was wondering if this, what should be the rotor, I checked the measurement of it with that on there to the top and the bottom, and it's 42.4 millimeters, I guess that is. And I checked it without that black thing on there, which I can't seem to get off there anymore. I checked it without the black thing on, and it was 41.9. So that's good. There's in the top of the rotor cap, this is spring loaded, so there's room for it to move up and down a little bit in there. Now the next thing is to clean that plate off there and put on this. They give you this stuff, which is photovoltaic paste, and that is made to make it so it's got a heat transfer, and it uses that for like to transfer the heat to it down there, so that this thing here won't overheat. Your coil has to be, you got to measure the coil so that's 3 ohms or more of resistance in there, which this one has, and then you go and put it all together. Then I'll show you when I get to timing it. I'll show you what they say for instructions, which are, you got to have a, what do you call that thing over there, which is, there it is, right up there, a timing light, and you just make it work with the timing light, and it's a little bit different than timing it with points and plugs in it. So now I'll just get this stuff cleaned up and put that part in, and then I have to get this plug out of there and put the new plug in. They send the one, when they send it to you, it's ready to go on a different kind of distributor than this. It's like the ready for, that looks like it's like a GMC thing or something like that, but they've got wires on it and plugs on it, but they very kindly send you this little thing and a couple of extra little pluggy things so you can go and put it back together again. Anyhow, I'll carry on. I'll show it to you when I get. Yeah, so as it turns out, that rubber grommet that they send along does fit through there all right, but the wires aren't quite long enough to go to where I have the coil mounted, which is likely not the right spot anyhow, but that's all right. So I've just put an extension on them. I just put a jumper wire to each side. Now it says in the instructions to not hook up this wire here, which goes to the computer or the engine control module down in there. Don't hook that up yet. Just hook up red wire here, which is power to the electronic ignition thing, and what do you call that? Black wire to the negative, and black wire, or this power wire to the coil. Then I tested the power coming into the coil. It's the same as the battery, so there's no resistors in between, which is one thing they tell you to check. And then I have a new rotor cap for it somewhere. Where did I put that, I wonder? So I'll find that and put it on. Don't you know, I just put things down and they disappear, hey? Isn't that the way things are? You put something down and it disappears. Okay, well, I'll find that and I'll stick it on, and I'll put the cap back on. Well, might be getting close to running. Who knows? Here's what's up. Can you see that? Anyway, I've got, what's going on here? I put in the electronic ignition. It seems to be sparking on that cylinder anyhow. Maybe I'll check the other cylinders too. And then it seems to be turning over. I don't know if I've got it flooded or what's going on, or I don't know if I'm leaking fuel. I'll give it a wrap here and see what happens. for a bit. Bang. Cool. I'm gonna shut it off for a little bit, check it around. Well, it runs. That's encouraging. Full of smoke in here. The heater's going. I'll turn on this fan to clean out some of the smoke. I never did get up here to see if it was charging it or not. But what the hell, eh? I guess it might be a working model here. I want to just check and see if I was leaking any fuel anywhere underneath. So lift it up and see. God, lights in my eyes everywhere you look. Going up. Or leaking oil or anything like that underneath here. There, now have an inspection, see how it looks. I don't see any oil dripping anywhere, and not even from the transmission or anything. I don't know, some of that might be old stuff that's just warming up and heating off there. Fuel drips, no, nothing on the floor anyhow. That was dripping over there a while ago, but I tightened up a hose there and that seemed to cure it. Nothing coming out of any of the pipes here. I don't know, am I looking in the right place for you? Here, look up there. Nothing coming out of those pipes. Bunch of oil burning off those exhaust manifolds, right? And then that manifold there is pretty hot because you can see that it's cooking stuff on there. I'll just check that out. Likely I'll burn my fingers off here. That head's pretty hot. How hot is that supposed to be, I wonder? Don't know. Now to check and see if there's actually oil pressure. I wonder, hey, I think there is. Put a new oil pump in it, it should have pressure. I seem to have it timed right. So, anyway, it's running, so that's a start. Yeah, way up front here, look, I'll show you now. I don't know why, but it just decided to start working. Is the oil pressure light. So now, well, I suppose I can just I'm gonna find a way to turn up the idle a little bit first. So I'm gonna turn up the idle a little bit, and then I'll show you what's going on. Yeah, so there, way up there, the oil light is on. Now the idle screw is right down in here. I don't know, can you see that? That's the throttle, the main throttle body there. The idle screw is right underneath it there. Now I don't think I ever changed that, but I just turned it a little bit towards clockwise. Don't know what way it's supposed to go, but that's what I did. Okay, I'll give it a go. Oil pressure light went out. I'll just turn this around a bit more. Oops. Yeah. Running pretty good now. I'll let it warm up good and we'll see what happens. Well, there you go, working model. Oil pressure light went out. Looks like the fuel gauge came up a bit. 14 volts on there. That means that it's charging, I think. I'll just check. I'll undo this. Yeah, it's holding 14 volts there, so that's charging. Cool. I'll be yeah, the fuel gauge came up, I don't know why. Headlights still work. Horn works. Clock's working. Some of the stuff works. The strobe light's working. Well, there. That's all right. I don't know, maybe I should put out a little bit of a video, an update here with this thing running. Wheels are turning. I don't know if it must be, I don't know if it's in, that's parked there. That wheel stopped. And it's just in neutral to run, to start. Huh. I guess I've got a temperature gauge here. I can maybe point at it. I don't know what temperature it's supposed to run at, but I'll check it out and see. See if this thing here will do anything. It says it's 56.1 degrees. $129 degrees coming out the exhaust. $206 degrees on the exhaust there. 165 degrees on the motor. Let's see if I can get underneath and take a look at the oil. Where the oil thing is. 145 degrees in there. 152 in the oil. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Operating temperature. Up in there is 97 degrees. 98 degrees. 109. 91 degrees here. It's hotter on the other side, huh? Go back over there and check again. This side and cooler on the other side. I don't know. Let it run for a bit and then see if it sorts itself out. Well, there you go. Had enough of that. We've got lots of minutes on here. Yeah, here I am. It's, what day is it, I wonder? Sunday. Sunday today. The thing ran. A little bit of smoke in here now, burning out some of that oil and stuff that's inside the stuff inside everywhere. So, I think I'll, put out an episode here about this because it's kind of good news that it runs. There is, I have a question though. Anybody that knows the answers, I don't know if, I certainly don't. This side of the motor runs so much cooler than that side of the motor. How come? Do I have something wrong in here? Is that thing not opening properly, or I don't know. I'll have to check into that, I guess. See if that thing is actually opening. Or whatever it's supposed to do. Anyway, everything seems to be okay. Otherwise, it's well within the operating temperature is well within range of what is allowed. Like this side here is running around, let's say 190 degrees. This side here is running around 220 degrees or so. I'll check into that further in the future just to, so I know. Anyway, so motor's in, and it seems to be all right. So I'll leave the fan running there for a while, come back out later and shut it off. But I think it's, yeah, that's a wrap for this one. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now. Stop recording. Well, I'm back. And so I was going to end this video yesterday, and that was, that was okay. So, but I'm back at it today because if you remember yesterday when I was running the motor and I had my little temperature gauge out, and that side of the motor was running cooler than this side of the motor. So, I was concerned about the hot side of the motor, but then I looked at the Google, right? You got to look at the Google and YouTube or wherever, anyhow, one of those forums on the Google. I just put the question, it's a simple question, left hand of the side of the motor Volkswagen runs hotter than the right hand side. So the answer on there was, and the obvious answer is, worry about the cold side because it's not running. And so, don't you know, this, like when in my brain, here's my little brain, the way it works. I always know that's cylinder number 1. This is cylinder number 2. So that, of course, is cylinder number 3. And that's cylinder number 4. Wrong, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had the firing order right, which is 1, 3, 4, 2. And it says it right here. It's 1, 4, 3, 2, right? I had the firing order right in my mind, but these two were crossed over the wrong way. So this should be 1, number 4 is here, and I had it going to there, right? And number 3, 1, 4, 3, which is this one here, I had it going to here, and 2. So it was only firing on this side. And so, of course, this side here was the only side that got hot. Well, what do you know? Now, I'll try starting it today with all I've got them hooked up right now. So this is 1, 4, this one, 3, that one, 2, that one. Yep. What a smart guy I am some days. And that was just like, that was just, you know, mind fart, eh? Because it says right here on the somewhere right here. Yeah, there's a number 4. Yeah, so right there, there's a number 4 right there. So, you know, what do you know, eh? Anyhow, I've obviously got the fuel problems figured out because it was running. And so now if I have this thing figured out, then I was adjusting on that right there to make it, you know, idle faster because it wasn't idling right, eh? Of course it wasn't idling right, it was only running on 2 cylinders. So I'll turn this back to wherever it should be. I don't know where it should be. There's the end of it, so I'll make it 1/2, 1, 1.5, which is always, you know, a good place to start. And so there, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see if I can get it to run again, and then show you what's going on. Yeah, so now, you want to be part of this? We'll just give it a go. It'll likely run quite a bit better than it did yesterday. We'll see. If it's got all the cylinders going, that makes a big difference, right? So here, there's my little starter switch. How do you like that, eh? Yeah, so I'll let it warm up for a while and then see how it sounds. Yeah, you like you can't hear me, but here. So, that exhaust, 410 degrees. 400 degrees. 500 degrees. 400 and some odd. Cylinder is about 185. Cylinder 233. 177. 191. Yeah, so it's all about the same all the way across. I'll be happy with that. Now I might have to get the timing light back out and see how the timing is. So that's pretty good. I'll get the timing light out, I'll show you what I'm doing when I get it out there. Yeah, you see where the mark is there. Because I've got the vacuum advance hooked up. So I'll unhook the vacuum advance and plug it, and then I'll show you how it looks. Yeah, so there. So I've got that vacuum advance off of there and plugging the hole with the drill bit. And then down in here, that's right on the mark. I want it on that one to the left, which is 7.5 degrees before top dead center, so that's pretty damn close, I'd say. Anyway, I'll be happy with that for now. And I should tighten up that distributor. Yeah, there now, it's been running for, maybe half an hour, right? And it's still sounding good. Temperature hasn't really gone up much. Excuse me, I'll check it again. Transmission seems to work. Yeah, the wheels are turning. Limited slip differential. And it works, all the gears work, and it works in reverse. So, and the brakes work. So when I hit the brakes, it'll stop. Wait a minute. I'll show you. See that thing? You see it going around and around? Brake on. And there the motor slows right down. So the transmission is working right. Still don't know why these lights up here aren't working like the high beam light works. Don't know if the oil pressure light's coming back to life not. And oh, the gas gauge came up now. That only took about a half hour before it decided to work. I don't know. I don't completely understand. I think my wheels are falling off over here. They seem to be all right. Anyway, I'll shut it off after a while and I'll wrap it up. Yeah, so there, it's shut off now. And I went around with the temperature gauge and checked the temperatures underneath there. So on the valve cover on each side was about 141 degrees, okay? On the cylinders on each side were around 170 degrees, and on the heads was 218 and 218. They were pretty well close to exactly the same. I didn't check the exhausts because, you know, that was after I shut it off. It had been sitting for about a minute or two, so I just left it at that. So that sounds like it's pretty good. I'll check the oil, and the oil light was working now, and then the fuel gauge was working now. Don't know, no rhyme, no reason to that. We'll figure that out as time goes on. But I think the engine is good. I think we're okay in here. And the transmission seems to work with all the gears, plus and reverse seem to work. So that's good. I can move it if I need to, when I want to. And so anyhow, so this will wrap up the. It won't be the will it run. It will run. So it did run, and it runs pretty well, and I'm reasonably happy with it. I'll have to get some electronic stuff working up front here, but I think that comes down to getting all the wires hooked up, because they're not all hooked up yet. There's some of them are still hanging around without any connection to anything. So, and that would make it likely get some grounds that aren't grounded yet to make the wires come to life. So, but I won't worry about that yet. I'll worry about that as time goes by. Anyhow, it's a happy day that it's running, and that's where I'll leave this. We'll close off this video here, and then I'll stay out today and do some more work on it. So anyhow, that's all for now. Hope you enjoy it all, and I'll see you later. Yeah, here it is Monday morning, and the first, well, let me see. What was I going to say? The first ice cakes are showing up. I don't know, can you see that one out there? Let me see if I can focus in on it or do something about it. You never know with this machine. Yeah, there, you can see that. That's the first ice cake of the season that I've seen here. Now if I look on the what do you call that, the website for the bridge, there's a webcam there, and you can see ice along the strait. So anyhow, a little bit of a grim day today. Buster and I are down here. He's hunting twigs, and yep, there is a rink cleared off out here on the pond. So yeah, you never know when a hockey game will break out down here. Anyway, there we are. That's another day at the beach. See you now.